I was sitting in a terminal waiting for my load when a greenhorn driver came in off the road. I heard him tell that foreman, get my little pink slip. This run's too tough and I'm gonna quit. Now the foreman that day happened to be old Joe. Man, he was older than time. He said, son, how long you been driving this rig? I drove all shape, form, fashion, and kind. Here you are worried about this one little trip. Why, I drove 1,000,000 miles and then some. He looked at Greenhorn right in the eye and said, boy, that ain't no easy run. I drove all roadway, interstate, and Boutwell and Great Lakes. Overnight in time, Mayflower and Freightliner, Spectre and Yellow Transit, Western Gillette, Red Ball Rider, Northwestern, Big CF, and Beaver and Bell and Hoover and McLean's, Gateway and a motor freight and transport and Vikings, Dixie, Ohio, Transamerican, some East Texas, Mason, Dixon, Watkins, and Transcon, Wilson Associates. Got all that driving done. I'll tell you, boy, there ain't no easy run. You got a gal in Texas, they send you up to Maine. You got a gal in New York, they send you out the plains. I know what your problem is. You got woman trouble, son. But like I said, there ain't no easy run. I drove for Navajo and Brady and Bruce and D.C., North American Allied, Chicago Motor Freight and Pipe, B-Mac and Curtis, Eastern NMX, and there's a Garrett, Ace, Federal and ETMF, Neptune and Harrion and Briggs and Sealand, Dudley, Dorsey, Beacons and Cunningham, Cooper, McRory and Jones and American too, Acme and Central, Standard and Boss and Sioux and United and Buckingham. Got all that driving done. They'll tell you, boy, there ain't no easy run. I've been backward and forward and uphill and downhill, shills and spills and thrills and pills. How about Atlas and Kramer, Alabama Highway Express, Murphy Line and Long and Harris, General Strickland, Eagle and Key, and how about that Nashville bypass on a Friday afternoon? That'll blow your hat off. That's something else. Atlantic Daily, McRae, Wheeling, and Rockwell, Gilbert, man.
Come along and ride this train. Come along and ride this train. Cross the mountains, prairies, reservations, rivers, levees, plains. Come along and ride this train. Ride this train. Ride this train with me to where the great interstate highways cross the country. 100 years ago, over that very ground, long before the roads were there, the lonely Pony Express rider carried the mail. Then came the stagecoach with people and supplies moving cross country. Today, carrying on that tradition is the modern mover of America, the man behind the wheel, the truck driver. Well, I pulled out of Pittsburgh, rolling down that eastern seaboard. I got my diesel wound up and she's running like never before. There's a speed zone ahead, well, all right. I don't see a car in sight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, my rig's a little old, but that don't mean she's slow. There's a flame from her stack and the smoke's blowing black as coal. My hometown is coming in sight. If you think I'm happy, you're right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 16 forward gears, diesel smoke trailing in the wind, 18 tires, checked and singing on the pavement. 5,000 miles to cover, 3 weeks away from home, and it's work, mister. It demands the best. And whether your run is on Interstate 70 or hauling freight down the eastern seaboard, if you're a gear jammer, you know there ain't no easy runs. I was sitting in the terminal waiting for my load when a greenhorn driver came in off the road. I heard him tell that foreman, get my little pink slip. This run is too tough and I'm gonna quit. Now the foreman that day happened to be old Joe. Man, he was older than time. He said, son, how long you been driving this rig? You know, I drove all shapes, forms, fashions, and kind. And here you are worried about this one little trip. Well, I've drove 1,000,000 miles and then some. He looked that greenhorn right in the eye and he said, boy, there ain't no easy runs. I drove for roadway, interstate, Hopewell, Great Lakes, Walford Mac, Time, Mayflower, Freight Lines, Spectre, Yellow Transit, Western and Gillette, Red Ball, Ryder, Northwestern, Big Seattle, Beaver, Bell, Hoover, McLean's, Gateway, Motor Freight, Transport, Bites, Big C, Ohio, Trans-American South, East Tex, Mason-Dixon, Watkins, and Transcon Wilson Associates. Got all that driving done, and I tell you, boy, there ain't no easy runs. Said if you got a gal in Texas, they'll send you up to Maine. If you got a gal in New York, they'll send you out on the plains. I know what your problem is. You got woman trouble, son. And I tell you, boy, there ain't no easy run. I drove for Navajo, Rate, Goose, DC, North American, Allied, Baltimore, Freight, Pie, New Mac, Curtis, Eastern and NX, Garrett, Ace, Federal, and ETM and Neptune, Heron, Brinks and C-Lab, First Dudley, Dorsey, Beacons and Bellingham, Cooper, Detroit, Jones and American 2, Nightway and Central, Standard and Boston Sioux, Yunnan, Buckingham, got all that driving done. And I tell you, boys, there ain't no easy run. I drove for United, Acme, Tanksley and Shaw, Grammar, Atlas, Strickland and Docks, Atlantic, Owens, Karen and Beaumont, H&H, Murphy, Field and Mohawk, Skill, Skaggs, got all that driving done. And I tell you, boys, there ain't no easy run.